Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I am back with Fairy Tales and Folklore Week 4. This is a diamond painting community event that is in its first year, and I have loved getting to host this past month with my friend Cait from Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper. We have been celebrating all things folklore, mythology, fairy tales, and everything in between, and have really thoroughly enjoyed seeing the different projects that you guys have been working on. In this video, I am going to chat about Korean folklore today, and if you couldn't guess by what I have here, I'm going to be tying it back into K-pop demon hunters because I just can't resist, and I thought it would just be interesting to take a look at where some of the roots of this movie's story are in Korean folklore. And yeah, we'll dive into that in just a little bit. I will also be announcing the winners of our week 3 giveaways in a little bit. And I also have our last set of prizes to give away for week 4. That said, for this event, just as a reminder, we're not doing any grand prizes. It's just been the weekly prizes throughout this event, and I will be doing a wrap-up video here on my channel during the first or second month of March where I announce the week 4 winners, and we just kind of tie everything off with a neat little bow when it comes to fairy tales and folklore. Before we dive into talking about Korean folklore, I do want to take a moment to once again thank our amazingly generous sponsors for Fairy Tales and Folklore. We set out to keep this event pretty low key and feel really thankful for the sponsors that we were able to partner with this year to bring you the giveaways for the weekly giveaways. So thank you so much to these sponsors. So if you're looking to check out some small shops, including some last minute event themed goodies, I have some great suggestions for you. First up, we have Blue Ridge Waxworks, who did some event themed goodies. That we also have Chris's Craft Corner, who did a tray among some other event themed goodies. We have Crafts with Crashly with her event themed release paper. Diamond Art Club has some diamond painting kits that fit the theme. KC Ventures has an event diamond painting tray. And Shire Shenanigans put together an event cover minder for us. I have shown some accessories and goodies from these different shops in some videos throughout the past month, and I have a couple more to share with you still, so keep an eye out for those. Possibly at the end of this video, depending on how timing works out. I am filming this a bit ahead of when it's going to actually go up, but I still wanted to make sure I extended a very heartfelt thank you to these sponsors again, and make sure you guys knew that we had some great small shops that you could check out. Now, as I'm going to go through some of the different Korean folklore that ties into K-pop demon hunters, I debated honestly if I wanted to go ahead and start on this diamond painting, and when it came down to it, I really want to kind of keep it in my rainy day stash for a little bit longer. But I still wanted to show you guys that this painting does exist. So if you're a fan of this movie or a fan of these particular Korean folklore kind of characters, you could check out Diamond Artisan. And this piece is by Sebi, and it's called Demon Tiger. And then I grabbed my recent Pop Funko acquisition of these characters too. So it's kind of lightly themed, and I'm gonna attempt, I hope this is okay with you guys. I try not to bring other crafts into this channel and really keep it very strictly focused on diamond painting. But it just so happens that the cross stitch project I'm working on right now has a lyric from a K-pop demon hunter song in it. And so I thought I would attempt to maybe stitch a little bit while we talked about Korean folklore. And I hope that's all right. But you don't have to watch the screen if you don't want to. And we'll see how this goes. I don't normally try to stitch on camera, so it's kind of whip and chat style. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk a little bit about K-pop demon hunters and the Korean folklore that is behind it. And specifically, we are going to talk a lot about Derpy and Sussy. And where they came from, because to me, they're some of the most interesting parts of this movie and the most entertaining parts of this movie. And I know that I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, that feels like these are some of the most charming and entertaining characters from the movie. So yes, they have stolen the spotlight, and this is kind of the inspiration for, I want to find out more about these characters. And so I will say up front, this is all I feel very surface level in some ways research. I just did a whole lot of watching YouTube videos, reading different articles that have come out really since the movie has come out, and then trying to dive a little deeper as well. But please know that there may very well be some errors, or I might get a little clumsy with how I'm, pronouncing certain words or something. And I am going to do my best to have this as researched as I can, but I hope you'll forgive any clumsiness on my part. So, okay. Let's see. Let me take I took notes because there's just no way I was going to keep all this in my brain, and I wanted to try to have it at least somewhat accurate. So, surprisingly, these characters are not just comic relief in the movie. They are definitely a part of Korean folklore and accurate in a lot of ways. The movie itself has a lot of different layers to it when it comes to Korean mythology. We've got the tiger and the magpie. We affectionately refer to as Derpy and Sussy. There's actually a lot of spiritual structure behind like the demons and the demon hunting. There's a lot of tradition that goes into it with Korean ghosts. And there's even some interesting kind of wordplay and history behind the Saja boys. So we're going to talk about all of these kind of different things today. Let's start out with talking about our favorites here. So the tiger in Korean is pronounced horangi, and tigers are one of the most important animals in Korean folklore. They appear constantly in folk tales, traditional art, those kinds of things. What makes it unique is that they're really powerful, but they're also very human, which I feel like you even see in the movie. In traditional stories in Korean mythology, tigers are mountain guardians, they're symbols of strength and authority, and they're spiritually potent creatures. This all sounds really like nice and fancy and all that, but they're also gullible, they're emotional, and occasionally tricked by rabbits. There are folktales where there are in Korean folklore where there's a rabbit that outsmarts a tiger just through sheer confidence, which I think is fantastic, and I can picture it really. So it's really funny because the goofiness of Derpy in K-pop Demon Hunters is also really accurate to Korean folklore. There's a kind of traditional folk painting called minhwa, where tigers are often drawn with really exaggerated and almost really goofy expressions, dare I say derpy kinds of expressions. And it's not intended as a symbol of disrespect. It's symbolic. It's kind of like a caricature in some ways because the tiger represents power, but power that can be questioned, satirized, humanized. So it is really consistent with Korean mythology in that way. It's not just a random mascot. He's got roots in Korean folklore. Now we have the magpie, which Sussy is the name that this bird often gets referred to when it comes to K-pop Demon Hunters. And this in Korean is pronounced kachi. And in Korean symbolism, magpies represent good news, intelligence, divine messaging, and insight. So in those minhwa paintings that we were talking about, we have this really exaggerated caricaturist tiger with crazy eyes. The magpie is almost always perched above the tiger, and the juxtaposition seems really deliberate there, where you've got the tiger that's really large and expressive, and the magpie is looking very composed, put together, almost like straight man kind of thing when it comes to humor and comedy movies. That's kind of what the energy seems to be. And so often scholars will interpret these kinds of pairings as strength and intelligence, earth and sky, authority and commentary. So we've got the tiger, instinct, force, emotional energy, and the bird is perspective, awareness, and subtle control. And that dynamic is intentional, and it's apparently very recognizable when it comes to visual pairings in Korean folk art. So some really deliberate parallels when it comes to the movie to comparing it to traditional kind of Korean folklore. Let's talk about some other things in the movie that also were rooted in mythology. First is spirituality. So Korean traditional spirituality is rooted in Musuk, and we have shamans, which I'm believing that this is mostly represented by the girls, and they're like the shamans or mudang that perform rituals called gut. Now these rituals use music, dance, costume, and rhythm to restore balance between the human world and the spirit world. So let's seal the Hanmoon. I actually forgot to search and see if like the Hanmoon is rooted in some kind of Korean mythology. I'll have to go look that up afterwards. But balance is key. When something is emotionally or spiritually out of alignment, ritual restores it. Mountains are considered sacred spaces in this tradition. Tigers are strongly associated with mountains and function as guardians and protectors against harmful spirits. So there's like not only the girls in the movie, but there's also like the tiger that tie into this kind of demon hunting narrative. And it kind of fits with those kind of traditional worldviews when it comes to Korean culture and traditional like Korean mythology. Now, I want to talk a little bit about demons and what this looks like in Korean culture, which is actually kind of different from the implications when you hear that word in English. So in like Western culture, when we hear demon, we think like the biblical side, right? Korean folklore is different, and there's kind of different kinds of demons, if I was reading about this correctly. One of the key kinds that we see sort of represented in this movie, they're called dokabi. And this is often translated as goblins, but they're more accurately like trickster spirits. They're supernatural, powerful, morally flexible, sometimes helpful, sometimes dangerous. As a side note, can I say how much I enjoy that it doesn't seem to matter what region the mythology takes place in? There's always a trickster character, and I'm immediately like, Loki, would this be you? The Norse mythology equivalent. But anyway, in Korean mythology, their role is to test humans. They reward kindness and punish greed. And so there's a little bit more lore to them than that. It's not just the sort of simplistic idea that I think we get when we, in the English language and in Western culture, hear the word demons. So like K-pop Demon Hunters isn't, you have to look at it through the context and the lens of what does this mean in Korean culture, traditional Korean mythos. Another important figure is Guishin. This is, I don't know if this is technically a kind of demon when it comes to Korean culture, but they're ghosts formed from unresolved resentment. They're tied to this really important cultural concept of Han. And Han is a deep, unresolved sorrow or injustice. It's emotional weight that hasn't been processed. And in Korean folklore, unresolved Han can manifest as a spirit. Emotional imbalance becomes supernatural imbalance. So if the demons in K-pop Demon Hunters are representing exploitation, suppressed identity, emotional repression, that framework is really culturally grounded. And we can also see how this is reflected in, what was this name of it again? It was Guishin, ghosts formed from unresolved resentment. And then there's this like need to restore balance. Now, also kind of on the K-pop the demon hunters side of things, we have, of course, the Saja boys. And what's really interesting to me is how there's a lot of wordplay when it comes to even the word Saja. So in the Korean language, Saja most commonly means lion. In the imagery in the movie, that's why you see the lion being the symbol of the Saja boys. And so it kind of ties in that way. There's another word in Korean that's pronounced exactly the same, also pronounced Saja, that means messenger or envoy. And we also have the afterlife realm, which in Korean is called Jisung. And so you get Jisung Saja, which is a messenger of the afterlife. In some cultures, some translations would be basically like the Grim Reaper. But in traditional Jisung Saja, they're calm, black-robed figures who guide souls to the afterlife. And I forgot to write down the very specific hat that they wear, which is the same style of hat that we've got our sussy bird wearing right here, that is also really typical in that imagery. They don't cause death, they escort it. And so there's that layered meaning to Saja boys as well. So we have the lion, we have the messenger, and that kind of ties into the story that has this supernatural conflict, looking for balance, talking about themes of the afterlife and whatnot. And yeah, so there's some wordplay here too. And it feels like that was really obviously deliberately done. So while just to kind of try to attempt to tie it all together, if you're following with me, because I feel like I've just done a whole lore dump here that I hope has been mostly coherent, I'm going to try to summarize it a little bit. K-pop Demon Hunters isn't, I wouldn't say that it's retelling folklore exactly, but it's pulling from a lot of different really specific elements of traditional Korean folklore and imagery. We see these Harangi tiger guardians. We have the Kachi magpie symbolism, which we see with these two. We see the shamanic balance rituals that could be represented by the girls, by Huntrix, and we have the Dokubi trickster spirits, which those are the demons, for lack of a better word, that we see that are attacking and whatnot. We have the Guishin, born from Han. Those are some of the ghosts like that you see like in the bathhouse, the really specific imagery with like the long hair and everything. And then we have the Saja boys with even their name tying into specific, this idea of like afterlife messengers and being kind of on this mission. So while there isn't this specific like one-to-one translation of like these roles and what these words mean, there is definitely significance here and relevance here that is very deliberate and means like that this movie wasn't just created in a vacuum, I guess. So in some ways, though, I feel like this is very true to the purpose of folklore, which often has to do with retellings that adapt and change over time and get modernized. And there's something about them taking a lot of this imagery and this mythos and putting it in the context of like the traditional K-pop idol and what K-pop culture looks like that feels very apt to me. Kind of similar to how in my week 2 video, we chatted about some different ways that Hades and Persephone's mythos looked at its earliest roots and compared to how you see modern retellings look, for good or for better or for worse, and whatever you think of them. It's looking at these stories, looking at these characters, looking at these ideals or ideas through a modern lens too, and going, how can we apply this to life today and societal and cultural norms today? And how can we learn something from it, or how can it have an impact on how we approach society or relationships or whatnot? So, that I thought was just really interesting. And I think that that's all the deeper that I'm going to go when it comes to talking about the lore and the Korean mythology that ties into K-pop Demon Hunters. I feel like I could have talked at length about a lot more and a lot of different things, but I wanted to keep it a little bit more surface level so that even if you've never seen the movie and absolutely never intend to, that this was still something you'd find, enjoyable and interesting. This is one of those things that, like Korean folklore specifically, I don't think we tend to see a lot of, like Western or modern retellings of. It's something I just wasn't as familiar with in a way that I feel like some other regional mythology I thought I was more familiar with. So I hope that was fun. If you have more insight, you're more than welcome to share it in the comments. And with that, I also want to go ahead and talk with you a little bit about prizes. Let me just place this last stitch. It is definitely harder to do cross stitch as a whip and talk at the same time compared to diamond painting, but we got a little bit done. That's fine. So let's talk about prizes. First, I wanted to announce the winners for week 3, and then I want to talk about week 4. And I did check my mail, and I have one more package to share with you that came in recently. So first, week 3. These were giveaways that Cait did on her channel in her week 3 video. So you just had to follow the instructions she gave in that particular video to be entered for these prizes. So I am going to, for this video, because I'm filming it before the giveaway has closed, I'm not going to be saying the names of the winners out loud, but I'm going to pop screenshots up on the screen for each of these so you can take a look to see if your name is one of the ones that pops up. So first up, I have a KC Ventures gift card for $15 to give away, and here is this winner. Congratulations. Next, I have a $20 gift card from Crafts with Crashly to give away, and here is the winner of this prize. Congrats. Then I have a $50 gift card to Diamond Art Club to give away, and here is the winner of this prize. Congratulations. And last but not least, I have a Blue Ridge Waxworks event-themed gift box to give away, and here is the winner of this prize. Congrats to all of our week 3 winners. We will be in touch soon with more details about getting you your prizes. Now, for week 4, first I'm going to tell you what I am giving away, and then I'm going to tell you how to enter. So first up, I have a $15 gift card to KC Ventures, and KC Ventures did this really pretty event-themed tray that is perfect not just for this event, but you could use it for anything to if you'd like to coordinate with your canvases, anything fantasy themed, it would be so perfect. And then I have a $50 gift card to Diamond Art Club to give away. They have a ton of different kits that absolutely fall under this fairy tales and folklore theme. And then the third and final prize I have to give away is from Blue Ridge Waxworks, who is doing an event-themed gift box that includes a 6-pack of wax tarts, a package of diamond painting pen or diamond pen hard wax, and an event cover minder. They sent over this box to me that I thought I could open up with you guys today and see what's in here. I think it probably will be event themed if I had to guess. This shop is new to me, and so I am planning on trying out some of these products in an upcoming whip and chat. Okay, this is a release paper sample. Take a quick peek. I can smell something. Oh, that smells really good in here too. So some cute release paper. You can use this on your diamond painting if you prefer using and having something cute, as opposed to the glue or the plastic rather. This is safe to go on the glue, but it almost feels like this is safe to put on the glue, but I would stick to just putting the white side down on the glue. And then we have, this says wrap sample fits a DAC large tray cover. Oh, so you can layer these. It's like a sticker. I think they called it a wrap, and you could put it on top of the Diamond Art Club large trays, like it fits on the lid. That's really cute. What a fun idea. Oh, I love that. And then we have some freebie goodies. Looks like there's some tea and some candy in here. And then, okay, here's a pack of the wax tarts. This is Enchanted Forest. It says Fairy Tales and Folklore event. A clean herbaceous scent with notes of sage, fennel, and light florals, airy heather, and windflower round out the scent profile. So if you like to do a wax smell, so if you have like a wax warmer, you could use these. I don't actually tend to use these myself, but yeah, it's got a bit of a floral scent to it, but it's really clean. And then we have, let's see, a cute little oh, this is a cover minder. Oh, the magnet flipped on the one side. A little event-themed cover minder that there's a little like fairy on a moon. The magnet's just all flipped around in there. And then we've got, let's see, this is Diamond Pen Hard Wax in the scent Love Letters. So I'm probably going to try using this in my single placer. Give you guys a quick look at it. I haven't seen hard wax in this kind of style before, so I'm definitely intrigued. Oh, cute. This smells nice too. It says Be Mine on it. So some hard wax, and I'll see if they have like a how-to or anything on their website, if there's anything to know about that. And then we have more pen hard wax. This is specifically Fairy Tales and Folklore themed. Oh, look at the pretty fairy on that. So yes, definitely keep an eye out in an upcoming whip and chat where I will test those out and give you my thoughts on it. So that, some of the products that are in there is, I believe, what will come in your Blue Ridge Waxworks event-themed gift box if you are chosen as the winner. And naturally, I've got my own little derpy cat who is just out of frame sniffing things. I'm trying to see if he wants to come in and say hello. Hello. Who is that? My own little derpy cat. Hello. He's like, and I'm gone. Just had to come check it out. Anyway, so to enter for these week 4 prizes, I need you to do 2 things. The first you probably have already done if you've entered for any of the past weekly giveaways, and that is to fill out our event entry form. You only need to have filled this out one time during the event. So if you've done it for one of for my past video, my week 2 video, or either one of Cait's videos, you do not need to fill it out again unless you've had a change of address or email address. The second thing that I need you to do is leave a comment on this video and let me know what you worked on, what diamond painting kit that you worked on for Fairy Tales and Folklore. I always love hearing about the different kits people have worked on and love how you guys have shared your progress photos if you're in the Facebook group or even on Instagram. Not that that was a requirement, but it sure is fun anyway. So yeah, let me know what you worked on for the event. And please don't include the words prize or giveaway in your comment. That just helps us avoid attracting bots and whatnot and spam. I really appreciate that. This giveaway is going to stay open just a little bit into March. So it's going to stay open through Wednesday, March. I need to look at my calendar. Wednesday, March 4th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And then the giveaway will close. I'll use a random comment picker tool to draw the winners. Make sure that you fill out the form and everything. And the winners for this giveaway will be announced in the wrap-up video that, as I mentioned, is going to go up during the first week or 2 of March. So keep an eye out here on my channel for that one. That said, thank you for making Fairy Tales and Folklore's first ever time to have this event happen. Thanks for making it such a fun one. Cait and I really did have a lot of fun putting this on for you guys, and hope you enjoyed getting to dive into a lot of different kinds of things that fit under the theme of this event. I've really enjoyed Cait's videos and found them so informative. So if you haven't checked those out yet, even if the giveaway has closed, still go and take a look at those. There's some really good stuff there that I really enjoyed. And just generally speaking, make sure you're subscribed to her channel to see her diamond painting videos as they're going up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you here as well. I do unboxings and reviews from a variety of different companies, as well as how-tos and tutorials and weekly whip and chats where I'm diamond painting and not cross-stitching if you'd like some company while you're crafting. Thanks for joining me today and letting me try something that was a little bit outside of the box and trying to learn a little bit about Korean folklore, and I hope that you enjoyed getting to learn a little as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're doing well. Have a fantastic week, and I will chat with you again soon. Bye.